And hello all friends, Potatoes are with you, and this is the third part of the Botany Fashion Guide for version 1.16.5. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to me and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. And today, we are finally moving on to the boss in the fashion of botany. It can even be said that not one boss, but as many as two. In order for you to be able to summon him at all, you will need to first make yourself a book by the elf Mani. That is, throw your book into the portal of Elfhelm, and thus you will get the knowledge of the elves. And now, when you discover Elfomania, you will also discover new knowledge here. We have already talked about this in the previous part, and what is important, on the second page, you will have such a button ritual of the traffic police. You click on it, and here you are described the ritual of the traffic police to summon the guard of the traffic police. Yes, that's about how it should sound. In general, you will need to build an altar like this, let's say for the call. And for its construction, you will need 9 blocks of iron, 1 lighthouse, and also 4 Gaia pylons. The Gaia pylon is made from 2 ingots in the element, 2 pollen, and also a mana pylon. Let's take this whole thing and start building it. And also to summon the first level of the traffic police guards of the traffic police, you will need a bar of terrastali. 1 ingot equals 1 boss. And let's build it right now. More precisely, I have already built it here, but it's better to do it all over again. So let me break everything down here now and build it together with you. Look, I go to the book, click on visualize. In this way, I make a visualization for myself, and poke, let's say, somewhere here is a PCM. That's it. Now here, we will need to install 9 blocks of iron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here we put a lighthouse, and then, at a distance of 2 blocks from the ground, we put the first Gaia pylon, then the second Gaia pylon, the third, and finally the fourth. Here it is ours. The whole structure is built. And look now what else I'll show you. Let's put up some blocks here a little bit. I'll break something here somewhere. It will simulate a kind of uneven terrain, let's say. Now I'll take our terrastal to summon the boss. By the way, I'll tell you right away that you will need to go to this boss in pretty good armor and with good weapons. Preferably in general. It will be ideal to go straight to Terra Steel. But I also understand that this armor is very expensive, and still try to make yourself some better armor and enchant it. Because this boss is really strong, and let's try to summon him. You press the Shift plus PCM, and look, no matter how hard you try, the lighthouse will not accept your donation. If you think that the problem is in the territory, it is recommended to check the area around you for obstacles or large holes in the floor. And just the same it is. Let's do it with you again. And here, we indicate the zone where Gaia will be called, and the blocks that do not fit us are highlighted. Namely here we have because everything is broken. Let's restore everything here. That's it. Then, we will try to call again, and also nothing is called, because these blocks are interfering with us. They don't stand out so vividly, but they still stand out, and now I'm removing it and trying to summon our Gaia. Everything is working out for us. Some kind of music turns on. I don't know if it has copyright or not, but I'd rather mute it. And here he is our Gaia. At first he's like this all in some parties, and then look, there's even a potato peeping through here. It's just my copy, only some kind of black and white, or rather I would even say just black. As you can see, he has a HP of 320 units, and he is quite strong. He will have various attacks, he will shoot at you, that's how to do all sorts of fields in which you will dare. There will be all sorts of flying ones, who is it? Butterflies or who is it? Well, it doesn't really matter. There are also evil mobs, and you will need to kill him in general, oddly enough. But you can see now I have Terra Blades, 7 he inflicts, and I also inflict on him. How much? 7 critical damage, not even 10. Let's take a sword like this, for some kind of ultra enchantment, and try to subdue it with it. It is applied somewhere, because there are 3 units or something. Yes, 32 units are demolished to him. It may seem to you that this is quite boring, but in fact, as he is killed, he will become stronger. Namely, he also has a second stage. Now up, here it takes off, and look what happens. He literally sucks in some kind of mana, from where I do not know yet, but in general, he will remember all sorts of mobs like this. They are quite weak, usually skeletons, zombies, spiders will be there. But in general, you will just need to wait, get rid of these mobs, and as a result, he will enter the last stage. Namely, he will simply become a traffic police officer again, you will be able to house him. And while he's flying here, you can't do any damage to him with a bow or a sword. Finally, he remembered, as you can see, I haven't even killed all these mobs yet, and he moved into the last stage. Let's finally kill him. That's it, we killed him. The music stopped very abruptly, and look what fell out of it. 8 spirits of the traffic police fell to us from it. If I'm not mistaken, then this is not even a constant for you, neither more nor less. And what of them can you do? Of these, you open up just a huge number of crafts, namely, in my opinion, as many as 16. Yes, 16 crafts. Here you can now make various wands, charms of all kinds. Here are more amulets. But this, in general, we will consider with you in the following parts. Here you can even make some raincoats. And now we are interested in the following. This is how to summon a Gaia of the 2nd level. Yes, because we have it. Look, we also have a tab here. Here is the ritual of the second level Gaia. And here, we will need to make such a traffic police ingot. It is made from the Starostali and also the 4 spirits of the traffic police. We will get with you a whole 1 ingot of traffic police. And by the way, you won't need it anywhere else. Let me even show you now. That's how we found the spirit of the traffic police. I click on Y, and in general, it is not used anywhere, only for summoning a Gaia of the second level. But before we summon a Gaia of the second level, I want to tell you that the first level was created in general, in order to simply prepare for the second level, because in fact, only Gaia's spirits fall out of it, and even not in such large quantities, and it is advisable to make ingots of the spirit of the traffic police out of them, because from the second level, you will also get the spirits of the traffic police and many other loots, including very cool artifacts, relics, as they are called here. Well, in general, let's summon our guardian Gaia of the second level. To do this, we take with you, naturally, our ingot of the spirit of the traffic police. Go to the lighthouse and click on the Shift plus PCM. The guard of the traffic police of the second level is called, although it is not written 10 times, but in fact it is. By the way, the damage is now being inflicted on him a little less. Before that we inflicted 32 with this sword, and now 28. And let's check the Terra Blade. Now even 4, that is, 3 less damage. By the way, he has absolutely 320 KP units as well. And actually, the guardian of the traffic police is essentially different in that he has a little more armor, and probably all because he also has a second stage, that is, here he takes off again and sucks mana into himself. And by the way, he definitely has such attacks. It's the kind of spark that releases right into you, and they're pretty good at Domazit. Well, at this stage, when it's very funny Mutazit, he calls in the same mobs. That's it, he finally got out of this stage. It remains only to finish him off. That's it, the last blow, and we killed him. Let's see what fell out of it. And by the way, we were pretty lucky, because a lot of resources fell out of it. Namely, these are 2 seeds of growth. We came up with 18 ingots, but it's not so cool really. Then, there are 9 more mana pearls, and that's what's cool. These are 2 runes of greed, already good, 3 runes of gluttony, and another thing like this called a Venator Rose. It is applied to the desiccant, and you literally tame it. I'll tell you about it later. By the way, there is also a record that cannot be knocked out in any way, except from the traffic police. This is a squeaky record. I probably won't show you how it sounds, because it's not enough for me to have some kind of copyright, and you can check it in your creative. Another thing that matters, and that always falls out, is the Dice of Fate. This is considered that the cases are like in XK, or in some other games, let's say Brawl Stars, only in Minecraft. And here, you may get one of the 6 relics, which we will consider today. We also got such a very cool item, called wool, in this case, some kind of Virak, and you can combine it with your Terra helmet, and in the end, it will give you the following effect. Critical hits breakthrough armor, which is pretty cool. And finally, we got 16 spirits of the traffic police. Of the 4 pieces, you can craft another ingot, and thus form the guards of the traffic police. But even with this guardian, you could knock out the following. These are a variety of runes, all of which we generally have, that is, mana, let's say anger, years and so on. Then by the way, before that, 24 ingots still fell out, here we are now 18. But by the way, last time, there were no families at all. They are quite expensive. The Dice of Fate will always fall to you, and you may also fall out or the wool of a rim. These critical hits impose a strong weakness effect. The wool is up to Haruk. The damage from a critical hit increases with decreasing health, which seems cool to me. Fusion's wool, critical strikes heal part of the damage done, that is in fact, into empiricism. Thur's wool, critical strikes impose a strong deceleration effect. The wool of Virak, critical blows, pierce the armor that we have now fallen. And finally, Carol's wool. Critical hits impose drying effects. It seems to me that it will be useful everywhere in general. But before considering the relics, I would like to show how the wills work in general. Look, here we have the wool, let's say Corilla. Critical hits cause drying effects. We will need a helmet, and in general, for this whole system to work, we will need exactly a full set of Terra armor. I will also take a creeper to test a wooden sword, so that just not to kill him with one blow. Look, here we take our helmet, and impose this wool on it with coral. And now we have it added. It says here critical hits impose desiccation effects. This means that it has been applied. And now we are putting on this helmet. And by the way, look, and now there is such an effect. The effect of the spirit of some literally. Let's try it now. It's just the whole thing without a set of armor. Here I have a wooden sword. Also a helmet with the wool of Corilla is put on. And let's try to strike a critical blow now. No desiccation is imposed. Now let me put on full armor, kill this creeper, and remember a new one. Here, I have a full set now, and now we are dealing it a critical blow. And we look carefully. Desiccation is superimposed on him, and blows him 2 more units of HP. That is, all of these wills will work with a full booking site. And that's how, by the way, the full set of Easter steel armor will look like, along with the wool. Pretty cool, but it seems to me that the wool could be moved a little higher, somewhere on the forehead. But now let's move on to the bones of fate. I took them, by the way, they will disappear with each use, but let's still take a poke. I poked it once, and look what happened to us. And since now I have all the objects already relics, that is, they exist in this world, and they are attached to me. Nothing else will fall out to me, because, as you know, we only have 6 sides on the bones, and, accordingly, 6 digits can fall out. In this case, I got 3. I don't remember what they refer to some particular relic. Well, in general, if you fall into a repeated number that you have already fallen out before, it means that you will get just some random items pretty good from botany. In this case, there are 5 spirits of Gaia, 2 runes of anger, 3 runes of laziness, and also 2 runes of gluttony. Let's poke again. Now 6 drops out, and I got that 6 litkas of monastali, 7 pearls of mana. Then how many more spirits of Gaia in my opinion? 7 diamonds and also 2 black lotuses. But, if you get a certain number that you didn't have before, you are given a relic. As I said, there are only 6 relics. We have the grisai fruit like this, then the key to the royal arsenal, the eye of the weather vane, the ring of Thor, the ring of Odin, and finally, the ring of Loki. The first is the grisai fruit. First of all, by the way, I wanted to tell you that all these artifacts, relics, work only for mana. That is, you will need to have a mana tablet in your inventory, and best of all fully charged, because these relics discharge it all pretty well. What does this fruit do? You can just eat endlessly, and thus fill your hunger with mana. Look here, we even have a little mana spent, so it just flows out, even it's clearly visible. And in this way I fill my hunger without eating this fruit. That is, it is infinite, and simply transforms mana into hunger. The next relic is the key to the royal arsenal. This relic will be more interesting already. I take this key from the royal arsenal. I definitely have mana with my inventory, and just clamp the PCM. Look what's going on. Behind us, we will remember just a huge number of weapons. These are all kinds of sabers, swords, daggers, even some hoes, tridents, some 2-handed axes, 1-handed axes. In general, absolutely all types of weapons. Now if I press it and go somewhere, well, look at that pig. I'm letting go of the PCM, and look, just all these weapons are flying and blowing up this pig, and she unfortunately died. Or her belly. Wait a minute. In short, it doesn't matter. Let's now remember a lot of creepers, and we'll check the whole thing on them now. Let's say how many things are there. 10. Now I'm pointing this whole arsenal at them. He's flying all over and blowing up these creepers. I think it will be very cool to use it against a crowd of zombies, let's say. Let's see again how it will all spawn behind us. Squeeze out the PCM, and they will gradually all spawn. We cannot fail to finish them. That is, here, I squeezed the PCM a little bit, then squeezed it out, and now they hesitated in the air. We need to put the squeeze on, and now we can put the whole thing somewhere forward. The next relic is the eye of the weather vane. This is quite a useful thing if you play alone. You don't have any TP holoc. Because look, you press the PCM shift, let's say on this block, it stands out for you. Now I'm flying somewhere. Let's say I'm going to fly to Shrek in the swamp now. This is where Hop swims like this. Yes, together with him. Then, I want to return home abruptly. Just clamp the PCM, and now I'm moving home. You can naturally rearrange these points, let's say somewhere here, by flashing plus PCM, and all a new point is set. Now Oppa again clamp, and Tfu and here. Then, there are 3 rings. The first one is the ring of Thor. I take it, I also take a mana tablet, and such an earth smasher. It has different levels. What it is in general, I'll tell you a little later, and now we'll just test how this ring works. If anything, it will only work with the dredger. Let me go into survival mode now. So I'm in it, and now I'm going to dig with this dredger. Look, he breaks us 3 by 1, and 1 deep. Now I'm going to wear this ring. I switch to costume jewelry, or whatever it's called, and put on rings in general in place. Now we are looking at what will happen. Our digger is now digging 3 by 3 and 3 in my opinion, into the distance or 2 blocks. For 2 blocks. In general, this will increase our digging radius in the digger, and also spends a little more mana. Naturally, this will work with other levels of the dredger as well. A little later, I'll probably even show it to you in the next networks, when we get to it. But now, I just don't want to spoiler the epic that will be. The next ring is called Odin's ring. This ring will be simply irreplaceable to everyone, I think that. Let me put it on now. Here again in costume jewelry, I take off this Thor ring, and put on Odin's ring. Now I'm going to go into survival mode, and see we have hearts added. And this is considered to be the second band of hearts. That is, 20 more health units are added to us, when we have a default of 20, 20 and even 40 are added to us. Then look, now we just won't die, we won't suffocate in water, we won't burn in lava, we won't burn in fire, we won't even starve to death. That is, look, let's take it now, let's say, into the lava, and just swim in it like this, and I don't care about it at all. Then let's also try to suffocate in the water now. I'll dig myself a hole like this, there's water here, and we'll never suffocate here at all. Now I will run out of bubble strips, but we will not die. Up, all the last bubble has leaked, and look, we just quietly live here in the water, and don't even suffocate. And what's cool, look, I'm going to fly very high. Literally, this is already fatal for us. I think that the height is even higher I want, and turn off the game mod. I fall down and look, nothing is being applied to me at all. Think of it as the ring of a Superman or something, a demigod of some kind. And the last ring, this is Loki's ring. I take it, and take some building blocks. This ring will naturally need to be put on and on the same slot, let's say here. And now look, I press the Shift plus PCM on this block, I have it highlighted. Then, I press the Shift plus PCM, so, therefore, and let's assume we round it off like this. And let's do it in the next one. Now look, I take the bricks, and put the PCM shifter. I have now put on top of literally the same thing that I highlighted, only all these bricks are spent, and in general, it simplifies our construction. Let's say I put a shifter here, plus a PCM, and everything is also put very quickly. In this way, you can literally build a whole wall with one click, or some elements that are very often repeated in your buildings, and thus, it is much easier to build. All of this can be done as well as the above to do, and in general, how you want to build. The block that we highlighted is the block that we will click on, and how everything will be built on it. That is, here we have the first block, here, as it were, and there is also the first block. I think you understand me. Well, now let's test the little thing that we had to do with Gaia. This is the Rosavinator. By the way, you can't craft it in any way, only knock it out with Gaia. Look here, we have it written, even in the description, apply directly to the desiccant. Let's try to do as we were told. I'll take him somewhere far away, so that he doesn't tear anything up for us there, and build a dryer. Up. 1, 2, 3, and now we just poke at our desiccant, and now we look, here it becomes so pink, kind, all sorts of hearts fly. It has 300 HP, for armor, and we can even sit on it. And right now, we have tamed the desiccant. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, write comments, and also click on the bell so as not to miss new videos.